It's Sunday, December 10th, 2023. Please make sure to like this video, share all of my videos all over your social media, and make sure you subscribe to this channel. Let's continue to wake people up. Let's continue to sound the alarm, and let's continue to make sure people are preparing daily. Now, without further ado, I want to go over some of the latest news with you. A couple articles I printed out here. Nothing really in order, but I jotted down some notes here. First article I want to start with was on Fox Business. Five Below's 4-foot Christmas trees go viral. Charlie Brown tree is what they're calling it. Five Below is another one of these discount stores, another one of these dollar stores where everything is $5 or less in the store. The cost of this Christmas tree is $5.55. They say that these trees need a lot of work because they're very beaten up, they're very small. Again, they call it the Charlie Brown tree for a reason. But a lot of people are buying them. These trees are getting a lot of attention on social media. 110.8 million views on social media of these trees. And so, would you buy a tree like this? How far are you going to go this Christmas? I was just looking online here at Home Depot. You can get a 7.5-foot freshly cut Douglas fir from Oregon for $149 versus $5.55 at Five Below. Totally different trees, but how much are you going to spend for a Christmas tree this year? I will tell you, I cannot even remember driving past a Christmas tree lot this year. I think maybe I've seen one. Maybe. I take that back. Maybe one. But they are far and few between. They used to be everywhere. Now, maybe I've seen one. How about you? Are people paying $75, $100, $150, or $200 for a Christmas tree this year? Some people are. But I bet you a lot of people aren't. I bet you a lot of people are going to buy a $5 Christmas tree at Five Below. I was watching a little bit of news this morning, and they showed a clip of somebody who had a Christmas tree tied on top of their car. They'd parked the car in some parking lot of some shopping area. And of course, it didn't take long. Somebody pulled up next to the car, got out, untied the Christmas tree, put it in the back of their car, and drove off. That's the world we live in today, ladies and gentlemen. So, 4-foot Christmas trees at Five Below for $5.55. You can buy a fir. What is it? A Douglas fir for $149 at Home Depot right now. So what are you going to do? Are you going to even get a Christmas tree? Is it an artificial tree? What are you going to be spending this year for a Christmas tree, if anything? Now, shifting gears here a little bit. Interesting article I was reading today on money.com. Auto loan rejections are at an all-time high. This was I guess not shocking when you look at 25 to 30,000 cars per day being repoed here in America. But in the article, it says the rejection rate for an auto loan is 11% this year, the highest level since the Federal Reserve Bank of New York began keeping track in 2013. So at least the highest level in 10 years. Rejections are more than double last year's rate of 5.2%. So we have a problem, right? People are having a difficult time qualifying for auto loans. Why? Because they're taking on more debt. So the debt to income ratio is out of whack. They have more credit issues. They have lower credit scores because they may have been late on a credit card payment. Maybe they were late on rent, what have you. So credit scores are slipping. They're taking on more debt. And of course, they don't have as much money, if any, for a down payment on one of these vehicles. If you come in with enough cash, anybody's going to finance you. Problem is, people are coming in with the bare minimum. If anything, they're broke, they're tapped out. So when you carry more debt, credit scores are going down, and you don't have cash to put down on one of these vehicles, you're going to have a very, very hard time qualifying for a vehicle. Danielle DiMartino Booth. I watch her, been watching her for many, many years. Don't agree with everything she says. She's picking Nikki Haley to be president. Not going to happen. Not going to happen. But I do like Danielle DiMartino Booth with a lot of what she has to say. Again, some of her social opinions I don't quite agree with, but She reported this on Twitter X. Total bankruptcy filings were 37,860 in November of 2023, a 21% increase from November of 2022. So we are really beginning to see more and more cracks in the dam. Just with what I'm reading to you right now, with auto repossessions, people not being able to get auto loans, they're getting rejected, 11% rate, highest since 2013, since they've been keeping records. And here's another one. Jeep employees learn of mass layoffs just over 1 month after UAW strike. People went on strike apparently for nothing, because many of these people who went on strike at these auto plants, they're going to lose their jobs. They're going to get laid off. Employees at the Toledo Jeep Assembly Complex have been back to work just over a month. Jeep's parent company, Stellantis, just sent a warn notice announcing mass layoffs affecting 1,225 Jeep Assembly Complex employees beginning as soon as February 5th. So I guess Merry Christmas, right? How nice of Stellantis and Jeep, huh? How nice. And of course, this will be good news for the housing market too. When you have over 1,000 more people losing their jobs, how in the world do they qualify not just to buy a car, how do they qualify to buy a house? In fact, how do they even keep their homes when they lose a job? You lose a job like this where you're making decent money, it's going to be very, very hard to replace. But the writing was on the wall, ladies and gentlemen, with these strikes. These jobs, with so many people coming into America, these jobs are going to be easily replaced, and many of these people are just going to lose these jobs permanently. So, I don't know. Does not look good. The economy does not look good. And again, this is just more data on top of the bankruptcies that we're seeing in America. We're going to see more layoffs. We're going to see more people struggling. We're going to see more people lose their jobs, more people not able to qualify to rent an apartment, not qualify to buy a home, not qualify to buy a car. We're going to see more and more trouble here. I mean, I think anybody with a brain that can think for themselves, that can count to 10, can see where this is all going. It's not improving, it's getting much, much worse. Here's another one today. Dollar General to open up 800 stores in 2024, along with 2,000 remodels. So these stores, this is where people are shopping now. They're shopping at these dollar stores, and you're going to see more and more people shopping at these stores. These stores are seeing more traffic. In fact, one thing they did say is they're seeing people spend less money, but they're seeing more traffic, so it makes up for it. So we're going to have less people who can afford to shop at a Walmart that are going to be going to these dollar stores and have been shopping at these dollar stores because they're getting priced out of Walmart. So this is another sign of the times, ladies and gentlemen. You know, great, more power to Dollar General and these dollar stores. You know, capitalizing on the economy and the middle class being crushed. People got to shop somewhere, and you can get some very good deals at these stores. I've been to these stores myself, but you know, it's sad that people don't really have options now. They're being forced to shop at stores like this. They're not going to have the options to maybe shop at the grocery store, shop at a Walmart. They're going to be forced to shop more and more at these dollar stores, where, you know, they're not going to be buying fresh meat or fish. They're going to be buying more frozen food at stores like this and preparing these meals for their families. So they're not going to be eating as well. But this is survival mode for a lot of people right now. And I would think that maybe in a booming, healthy economy, you're going to see dollar stores. But I don't think you would see Dollar General opening up 800 stores next year. This is telling us something. Here's another one today. 13% of America's teens suffer from food poverty. You know, when incomes cannot keep up with inflation, this is what happens. People shop at dollar stores. 13% of our teens are not getting enough food. They're having to skip a meal. So maybe they're eating breakfast, they're skipping lunch, they're eating dinner, or what have you. But this is the so-called wealthiest nation on planet Earth that, you know, taxes everybody to the moon. We give people in countries all over the world trillions of dollars, and yet we can't even feed our own people. That is repulsive. That is really sickening. Nobody in this country should be starving, yet we have billions to send, for wars, 2 wars right now, and quite possibly in 2024, a 3rd war. And we can't even pay our own interest. We have to borrow money for that. But yet we continue to borrow and print money to send all over the world to continue wars. But we can't even feed our own kids. We can't even take care of our own vets. And we cannot even repair our own infrastructure. Things are completely wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Very, very wrong. Comment down below. What are your thoughts on that? I think that until all of our vets have a roof over their heads, until they're eating 3 squares a day, that all of our kids, no matter where they live, whatever race they are, how old they are, whatever, nobody that is an American should be starving. Nobody should be in food poverty in America. We need to cut out all of this wasteful spending for so much of the special interests and so many of these wars and so many of these deals we have overseas. We shouldn't be doing anything until we have this mess in our own backyard cleaned up. People should not be sleeping on sidewalks. People should not be defecating on the streets of America. People should not be screaming for help because of addictions or mental illness and things of this nature, or they don't have enough food, or vets don't have homes, and so what is it, Tunnel to Towers, whatever the charity is, every day asking for money, asking for help. Why is this government not helping? Why is it up to us? I'm getting taxed for everything. I get taxed on food. I get taxed on my income. I get taxed on gasoline. I get taxed on where I live. I get taxed on anything I buy at a store. I get taxed. So at the end of the day, they take 60-70% of what you make, and you're left with a few pennies. And then we want to help, but how do we help people that need it? That are at the food banks, or the vets that need the help, when we're being taxed on everything, and at the end of the day, you have $30 left out of 100, because it's all been taxed away. It's really, really unfortunate what's going on. But I think they said that basically 62% of what you make goes to taxes. I mean, I believe that. Think about that. 62 cents out of your dollar is going to taxes. Don't forget about all that income tax you have to pay too. And everything you buy is taxed. And so there's nothing left where you have anything left to help people, including yourself. Think about before income tax, if what you made you kept, how much money you would have left over to invest, to buy extra property, to buy an extra car, to put into the economy, to buy some land, and how much wealth you could build just over 10 years if you didn't have to pay taxes. If you did not have to pay taxes, like income tax, if you didn't have to pay income tax, in 10 years, how much wealth would you be able to build? Because you'd be able to take that money that you'd pay in income taxes and invest it in things you would want to invest in. But people are paycheck to paycheck, and if you don't pay Uncle Sam theirs, they're coming for you. 1 in 8 San Francisco homeowners are selling at a loss, the highest number in the nation. This is coming to a town near you. And I don't care what any real estate agent tells you or tells me. I know they like to write me and tell me that there's not going to be a housing crisis when there already is a housing crisis. Let's be clear. There is a commercial real estate depression going on right now. Nobody can argue that. In my area, home sales are down roughly 35%. That is a housing collapse. Doesn't matter. You can blame it on inventory, you can blame it on prices, you can blame it on Santa Claus. At the end of the day, when you have sales down 35% from a year ago, you have a housing collapse. Now, it's going to get much worse because of just what we're talking about here. When people are not eating, when people cannot qualify to buy a car, how in the world do they qualify to buy a home? When people are getting laid off, like the people at Jeep, and all the other layoffs we're seeing, and all the bank closures we're going to continue to see, all those people are losing their jobs. We're going to see mass layoffs in 2024. It's already begun. And so when you don't have a job, let me explain this to a real estate agent who they just don't seem to understand because they're too busy writing me and telling me that there's not going to be a collapse. I would say this to any real estate agent who continues to write me: stop wasting time writing me and start using that time to sell your client's home and explain to them why it's not selling. Okay, you don't need to be wasting your time with me. Take that time, call up all your clients and tell them why their homes are not selling right now. That's what you should be doing. You should be motivated and trying to sell your client's home instead of trying to convince me that there's not going to be a housing collapse. It's already begun. So again, don't waste your time. Take this valuable time and work with your clients and explain to them why their homes are not selling. And I'm going to tell you why, in case you don't know. Because they're overpriced. There's less qualified buyers, and they're chasing the market, and they're going to continue to chase this market. Coming to a town near you. Remember, San Francisco was one of the hottest real estate markets in the entire country, and now 1 in 8 are selling at a loss. Mortgage rates send Americans scrambling to refinance loans. Are people this broke? This was on Newsweek today. 30-year fixed mortgage rates, or mortgage rate has dropped by about 0.75% over the past week, roughly. So people now are running to refi their homes. Last I checked, last week, I think the refi on I think a refi was like 7.57%. Maybe it's 7.25 now. I don't know, but I do know this: that on average, people refining their homes right now are gonna save about $100 a month. $100 a month. Now, a refi on a $250,000 home on average is going to cost between $5,000 and $10,000. The national average for a refi, I looked this up earlier today, was a little bit over $4,300 on average. That was the cost of a refi. So $5,000 to $10,000 or $4,300, whatever number, somewhere in that realm. I've seen it up to $15,000 on a $250,000 refi, but I'm going to say $5,000 to $10,000. To save $100 a month. Are people this broke? I mean, this just doesn't make sense to me whatsoever. I mean, if you got to refi your house to save $100 a month and you're paying anywhere from $4,300 to $10,000 in order to save $100 a month, I don't know. I really don't know. Does not make sense to me, but I think people are getting really, really desperate. Yahoo News. The administration facing congressional probe for sending billions of dollars to solar company accused of scamming elderly. In fact, here's the number. $3 billion of your money went to Houston-based Sonova Energy Corporation. Here are some of the alarming reports. Elderly people on their deathbeds were signing contracts. Massive maintenance delays, predatory sales strategies. They were getting elderly people in poor health to sign lengthy contracts. So here we go again. $3 billion given to Sonova Energy. Not for vets that need homes, not for homeless people, not for people with addictions, not for mental illness, not for infrastructure. No, no, no. It went to a solar company based out of Houston. So transitioning from this article, $3 billion given to Sonova Energy based out of Houston, Texas, your $3 billion, your tax money that you worked so hard for, that they take so easily and just waste. Now under this investigation, this criminal probe. Well, now let's take a look where else they want to spend your money. The administration wants to give 500,000 Americans money to buy homes. Whose money? Well, of course, it'll be your money, it'll be my money, it'll be tax money, money we work so hard for. The administration said on Thursday it was looking forward to help hundreds of thousands of households to realize their dream of home ownership. It's nice to own a home, and it's a dream for a reason, because not everybody can do it and not everybody should do it. But here we're going back to the Bush days before the 2008 crisis, where the Bush administration said everybody should own a home. Everybody in America should own a home. No, not everybody in America should own a home. The act will introduce a new federal tax credit to help fund the development and renovation of 1 to 4 family housing in distressed urban, suburban, and rural neighborhoods. I don't know. Maybe they're going to give everybody a tiny home and an electric vehicle, and everybody can ride off into the sunset. Or maybe they should just give all of us $1 million and a Lambo. Doesn't that sound nice? I mean, why not? You have the printing press. Let's just keep printing. Give everybody $1 million and a Lambo. Lael Brainerd, director of the White House's National Economic Council. Our Department of Transportation is making billions of dollars in low-cost loans available for developing housing near transportation. They are trying to find solutions for the inflation that they have caused with all of the massive money printing, the QE, the wars all over the world. They are trying to find solutions now, and it's not going to work. You cannot continue to give people tiny homes. You cannot give people free housing. You cannot pay for all this on the back of the taxpayer. What you have to do is the system, the government, has got to stop spending. You've got to stop taxing, and you've got to start creating jobs. And you've got to be giving incentives to small business. You've got to be cutting taxes for small businesses. And we must begin to make and manufacture things right here in America. You cannot pay for people to buy a home. You cannot give these discounted loans or low-cost loans. This is not going to do it. You've got to give people jobs. You've got to give people opportunity. You've got to allow people to make and acquire their own wealth. We're not going to get out of this hole. In fact, it's getting worse as we approach $34 trillion in debt. The hole is getting deeper because they keep kicking the can down the road. And the longer we keep doing this, the deeper and deeper the hole is. And it's going to be much, much more difficult to get out of this hole because it continues to get deeper. Low-cost loans and giving people tiny homes and giving people free money and giving countries all of this free money that they're never going to pay back. This is causing a catastrophe here for everybody in this country. And mainly it's the middle class that is paying the price, and the poor. David Stockman, The Destruction of the American Middle Class. This really, I'm not going to go through the whole article, but if you get a chance, check it out. It will make you sick. He says, since money printing went into permanent high gear after the dot-com crash in 2000, the top 1% of households have gained $20 million each in inflation-adjusted net worth. The top 0.1%, or 131,000 households right here in America, at the tippy top of the economic ladder, have gained $88 million each in inflation-adjusted net worth. How are you doing? How are you doing? Did you gain millions? Let's look at how you've done. Let's look at how the middle class has done. During the last 22 years, the median real annual wage, as tracked by Social Security payroll tax records, has risen by 14.5%, or just $235 per 12 months. That amounts to $4.50 per week. How you doing? You like that? These people at the very, very top are laughing all the way to the bank. The whole system is rigged. The markets are rigged. It's all rigged. And yet people just continue to watch the football games. They continue to ignore the wealth transfer. They continue to ignore the shakedown of their Social Security. It's being looted. And, you know, by 2034, 35, you probably won't even have Social Security. If you do, it won't even matter because inflation will be so high that your Social Security will be a drop in the bucket. Really, really sad. 85 million workers last year made $40,000 or less in this country. Let me repeat that. 85 million workers in the U.S. made $40,000 or less right here in America. I'm going to close with this last article coming from the New York Post. Just another example of the morality in this country collapsing on top of the economy collapsing. New York Post. Teachers are quitting in droves because they are too scared of student violence and the lack of punishment. Things are out of control. We've had 1,350 teachers assaulted in the last year. 1,350 teachers assaulted at work. And just watching some of the videos of these assaults, teachers trying to break up fights and then getting knocked out themselves, teachers taking away students' cell phones and then getting completely knocked out, unconscious, kicked in the face, in the head, hospitalized. The brutality and the amount of violence, not on the streets of America, but in the classroom is absolutely shocking. I've never thought I would ever see America so uncivilized. I've never thought I would ever see the breakdown of society to this degree in America. I thought we would continue to evolve, but we're going backwards. It is getting very, very dangerous to be a teacher in America. And who's to blame? Well, it's the parents, right? And if the parents are losers, then the kids are going to be losers. There's nothing the school system can do. And so they get away with this behavior because that's how they behave at home. And so when a teacher tells them to do something, if they don't listen to their parents, why are they going to listen to somebody they see 8 hours a day, like a teacher that isn't even part of their family? They're not. They're going to go in rage and they will assault the teacher, and that's what they're doing. So this is what happens when you have moral decay. This is what happens when you have lawlessness. This is what happens when you don't have God in your household or in your schools. You have 1,350 teachers assaulted, and you're going to see the better teachers either go to private schools or just not even be in the sector at all. They're just going to get out. It's not worth it. It's not worth their life. It's not worth being assaulted and being attacked. It's not worth the PTSD. So again, just wanted to bring that up. We talk, a majority about the breakdown financially of this country, but the morality is what's really, really shocking because these things go hand in hand. When an economy begins to break down and people are struggling, you're going to see more breakdowns in the family. Just in closing of this video, you're going to see more and more people stressed out. You got to be very, very careful out there. You don't know, if you honk your horn at somebody or you get cut off and, now things escalate. You don't know if that person just lost their job. They got 4 kids. They're 3 payments behind on the home. The repo man's looking for them. The guy's getting ready to get a divorce. People are going to snap. So you got to be really, really careful out there because you're now in a time in America, in society, where people are really reaching their breaking point. I think that there are so many people out there right now so stressed out. People are maxing out the credit cards. They know what happens after the cards are maxed out. It's a dead end. There's nowhere to go. There are people facing homelessness right now as I make this video. They're stressed out. And so be careful out there, ladies and gentlemen. We're coming into the holidays too. A lot of stress on people. A lot of families are breaking up. A lot of people have dependencies. A lot of people, there's a lot of issues going on. And usually things get real, real deep around the holidays. So reach out to people, check on your friends, check on families, your family members, check on your neighbor, do the right thing. Help some people out. Maybe you can help out some homeless people. Go to one of the animal shelters, make a little donation or spend a little time there and help with the animals. We have to give back a little bit if we can. If we're in a place where we can do it, then we have to give back a little bit. And I think that you're going to get back a lot more. I think God will reward you for giving some of your time. A lot of times it's not just about how much money you can donate, but it's nice to give a little bit of your time. And if you can make a donation to help some people in need or some animals in need, I think you'll be rewarded. And I think if you can give some time, you're going to be rewarded. And it's just doing the right thing. So if you have the ability, the resources, the means to do it, then I think it's the right thing to do. I'm going to leave it there today. God bless every one of you. Like, share, subscribe. And as always, I look forward to speaking to each and every one of you. Comment down below about anything you want to comment on. Let me know. You getting a Christmas tree? How much are you going to pay? What's the going rate? I don't even know. Where are the Christmas tree lots? I'm not even seeing them. So I'm going to leave it there. God bless. Have a good day.